Okay. So Guru Peri Sath Sangat Ji, आओ सारे गज वज के फतेह बुलाओ जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। So, just an announcement before we start. So a lot of people were requesting that we still do Sakhis every week, even if the talk goes on for a month. So we're gonna, Guru Prasad, we're gonna try to do 4 Sakhis for each talk to really help us, give us time to understand the Bani and see examples from our history to understand the Gurbani as well. Guru Prasad Guru Sahib Ji, aap kirpa karke aap hi seva la lein. So today's talk is going to be the same one. जिनी डिठा मेरा साथी गोर भाव कारे तिनके साबे पाप गवाई हरि दरगह ते मुख उजले बहु शोभा पाई जानो नानक को मंगै धूड़ तेन जो गुर के सिख मेरे पाई। So Guru Peri Sath Sangat Ji, thus and thus when I was going over the art, I was reading the meanings of these talks that Babaji wrote in their Pothi, they mentioned the name Rai Bullar. So today we're going to take a look at the life of Rai Bullar Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and we're going to see how much love Rai Bullar Ji had for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and how Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji returned this love to Rai Bullar Ji. Why did Rai Bullar Ji have all this love? What made him realize that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji was the true Guru? And how did Rai Bullar Ji show this love? So again, like always before we start, we're going to do Mool Mantar and we're going to do Gur Mantar. So everyone close your eyes. I want you to focus 100% on Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and focus on God and just forget about everything else that's happening around us for the next 2-3 minutes while we wait for everyone to join us. Let's just sit down and remember God and thank them for giving us this time to go over all these Sakhis and Simran. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरखो निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरति अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादि जपो आदि साचो जुगादि साचो है भी साचो नानक होसी भी साचो एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरखो निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरति अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादि जपो आदि साचो जुगादि साचो है भी साचो नानक होसी भी साचो एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरखो निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरति अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादि जपो आदि साचो जुगादि साचो है भी साचो नानक होसी भी साचो एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरखो निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरति अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादि जपो आदि साचो जुगादि साचो है भी साचो नानक होसी भी साचो एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरखो निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरति अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादि जपो ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤਿ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤਿ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪੁ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So Guru Peri Sath Sangat Ji, we're going to look into the life of Tan Pai Rai Bullar Ji. And actually I prepared a lot of stories. So this is just a picture of Rai Bullar Ji, an artist too. But I tried to prepare a lot of stories. But to really understand how much love Rai Bullar Ji had for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you have to look at their whole life. You have to look at the childhood of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, how Guru Nanak Dev Ji grew up with Rai Bullar Ji, how the two families were related, and how they interacted with each other. And then from there we'll understand why Rai Bullar Ji had so much love for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and how not only did Rai Bullar Ji have love for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but Rai Bullar Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji returned that love to Rai Bullar Ji. They blessed Rai Bullar Ji with everything, right? So I apologize. This is going to be a lot of short sakhis. A lot of them we already went over as well, but just short sakhis to help us understand. Actually, a lot of the original sakhis we already know. We can even start before all this. When Rai Bullar Ji was only 8 years old, their father passed away. And at 8 years old, he became the king. He became the ruler of Raipoi di Talavandi, right? The place that Rai Bullar used to live. But what happened? They were too young to take care of a whole city. They're just 8. When you're 8 years old, you just want to eat pizza, right? You just want to have fun. You just want to play. So what happens? The duty to take care of the whole city goes to Guru Nanak Dev Ji's father. I hope you guys all remember what his name was. Pita Kalyan Chand Ji. So Pita Kalyan Chand Ji is taking care of the whole city. And as soon as the first day that Rai Bullar Ji turns the right age, Pita Kalyan Chand Ji gives them control of the whole city again. They make them the king again. So right from the beginning, there was the two families were really well connected. The two families were really close to each other. And what happens? Guru Nanak Dev Ji is born. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji is living in Raipoi di Talavandi, is living under the rule of Rai Bullar Ji. So Rai Bullar, in case we don't know, he was the king. He was the king of the place that Guru Nanak Dev Ji was born in. He was the king of that place and everyone had to listen to him. But he had a lot of respect for Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And we're going to go through a few stories to see what made him realize that Guru Sahib Ji is not just a normal person, that Guru Sahib Ji is God. That Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is God on earth. So what happens? Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is a child. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is really young. But Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji isn't just like the other kids. The other kids, all they want to do is eat food play outside with the friends, talk to the friends, come home and go to sleep, and then do it again tomorrow. Eat whatever food you can get, eat whatever your parents give you. No one wants to help their parents do any work. No one wants to go to the Gurdwara to do any Simran. All the kids just wanted to play. And they used to play and talk to each other and just run around all day. But not Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, from when they were really, really little, from when they were just a little baby, they used to spend so much time just quiet. But they weren't quiet. You know what they were doing? They were doing Simran. They were remembering God. Everything that Guru Sahib Ji did, they would just remember God. They would say, God is here. God is giving us this land to sit on. They're giving us this ears to listen with. They're giving us these eyes to see with. They're giving us this air to breathe. They're giving us this beautiful weather. And every day, Guru Sahib Ji would just sit down and just remember God. So Guru Nanak Sahib Ji would just sit down and remember God. All day long they would remember God. And they wouldn't talk to anyone. For months, sometimes for a full month, they wouldn't talk to anybody. And they would eat so little, almost nothing. And they would just be remembering God. And Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, they were God on earth. So from right in the beginning, they spent their whole time doing Simran and doing Bhakti. So the parents started getting worried. They were like, Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji spends his whole time just sitting down in Samadhi, and they just leave the house and they go to the forest. And they go to the forest and they remember God. And they just focus on God. And whatever they're doing, they're not talking about worldly stuff. They're just doing Simran. So the parents say, you want to know what? It's because he doesn't have any work to do. He has so much free time that he can just do whatever he wants, and so he's spending it just doing Simran. What if we give him a job? He likes going to the forest, he likes nature, he likes animals. What if you give him a job where he can do all this, where he can be close to nature and be close to animals and still do his Simran, but also, get a little bit more attached to some work. So what did they come up with? They come up with they thought was a genius plan. They're like, we'll give Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji some cows. And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji will tell him that it's your duty that every day in the morning you have to take the cows and you have to feed the cows and then bring the cows back home. So then every day Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji for a few hours, they would, just like the parents said, they listened to the dad 100%. They said, Sat Bachan Pitaji. Sat Bachan means whatever you said, I'm going to follow that. So they said, Sat Bachan Pitaji, and from the next day, they got the cows and they started going into the fields and they started giving the cows food to eat, right? And every time the cows would try to run away or try to walk away, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji would bring them back, and then they would bring them back home when they were done eating, right? So this happened for a few days, and what happens? One day, while the cows are eating, Guru Nanak Dev Ji falls into Samadhi. Remember we went over what Samadhi is? Samadhi is when you're focused only on God. With your whole heart, you're just thinking of Guru Sahib Ji. You're just thinking of God. You don't know anything else that's going on around you. You don't care about anything else that's going around you. You don't care if someone's walking. You don't care if someone's talking. Because with your whole heart, with your full mind's concentration, you're just focused on God. And Guru Sahib Ji was doing this. They were fully focused. They became they were so much in love with thinking about God, with doing Simran. They were so much in love with how much bliss they were getting, with how much happiness they were getting from doing Simran, that they just couldn't think about anything else. And what happens? So Guru Sahib Ji is doing Samadhi, Guru Sahib Ji is doing Simran with all their heart, but the cows start walking and walking and walking, and they walk into the neighbor's fields, and they start eating the grass over there as well, because Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji isn't there to stop them. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is sitting in Samadhi, right? And what happens when the neighbors see this? You think the neighbors are happy? No. The neighbors see that cows in their field, and they're they're kind of pissed. They're really, really angry. They're really angry, and they start chasing the cows away. They start chasing the cows away. They're running after the cows with sticks, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji this whole time. They don't care about anything else that's going on. They're just doing their own Simran. They're doing their own Simran and they're remembering God. Right? So what happens afterwards? The farmers see that the cows must be Guru Nanak Dev Ji's. Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't take care of the cows, and because of that, they ate all our food. The cows eat all their food. So they get angry. And what do they decide to do? Decide to tell Rai Bullar Ji, because Rai Bullar Ji was the king. He was at the head of the whole village, and whatever he said had to happen, right? So they tell Rai Bullar Ji, they say, Rai Bullar Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was sitting down and they were just doing Simran, and they didn't care about their cows, and they let the cows go into our field and they ate all our food. We have no more food left. And they're telling Rai Bullar Ji, and Rai Bullar Ji is listening to all this. And you know what Rai Bullar Ji says? Rai Bullar Ji says the only fair thing to do is make Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji's dad pay for how much damage that they caused. You know, if they took 1 month's worth of food, they should pay you 1 month of money for that food, right? Because it's their fault. It's because the cows ate the food, it's their fault, right? It was their cows. They didn't pay attention to the cows. So they tell them exactly what happened, and they're like, so let's send someone, let's go see how much of the food that they ate so we can decide how much money Guru Nanak Dev Ji's dad needs to pay you, right? So they all go back to the field and they wake up Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and everyone's angry. They're like, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you always do this. You never pay attention to anything that's going on around you. You just sit down and you do your own Simran, right? And because you're doing Simran, look at how much bad stuff happened. All their food got eaten. These neighbors of ours, their whole food got eaten. The cows ate all the food. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they wake up from their samadhi. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, again, with their heart, they fully loved God. With their full heart, they were thinking about God. You think God is just going to let someone that's loving God? Do you think God is just going to let their sevak, their bhagat get in trouble? No, because God loves their bhagats as well. We're going to see later on as well. But if you love God, God will love you as well. God will love you back equally, if not more. Right? So they say, let's look at the damage that's been done. So they go and they look and they look, and you know what happens? They're looking into the fields and they see that there's no damage done. Just like before, the food is just as green as always, and everyone's surprised. No one knows how this happened, but you know how it happened? It's because Guru Nanak Dev Ji was doing Simran with love for God, and Gurbani says over and over again, "Apne sevak ko saas se samare, apne jan ko saas se samare." अपने सेवक की आपे राखै, आपे नाम जपावै. So Guru Sahib Ji protects whoever does bhakti of them. If you love God, God will love you back. If you spend time focusing on God, God will spend the same amount of time, will spend more time focusing back on you. They'll spend time helping you with anything that you need help with. So this was the first time where Rai Bullar Ji saw with his eyes that, you know what, this isn't a normal person. Like Rai Bullar Ji knew that what the farmers weren't just making up stories. They knew that the cows probably did eat the food, but because Guru Nanak Dev Ji was doing so much Simran, because they were in love with God, God was helping them. So they saw that this isn't just a normal boy. This is a great person, a great person. And there's a couple more Sakhis that happen like this that made Rai Bullar Ji realize that Guru Nanak Dev Ji isn't just a normal kid. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is God on earth, right? There's a living, breathing God that blessed them with their darshan, that blessed them, right? So we're going to take a look at a couple more of these stories and hopefully we have time to see how Guru Nanak Dev Ji returns the slab to Rai Bullar Ji. If not, we can continue it tomorrow. I apologize. A lot of these Sakhis you already know, but we're going to go through them again to see how Rai Bullar Ji found out that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not just a normal boy. Everyone else was, Pitta Kalyan Chand Ji was still treating them like they're just my son. But Rai Bullar Ji started saying that, you want to know what? Whatever Guru Nanak Dev Ji does, that 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 happens, that comes true, right? So what happens? Another day, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji is doing the same thing. In the morning they wake up and they take the cows and they go into the fields and they feed the cows, and then they come back home at night time. And Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, this whole time they're still not talking to people, they're still not wasting time talking to other people or anything like that. They're just doing bhakti the whole time. One day what happens, it's really, really hot. Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji goes, and again, they're sitting in Samadhi, they're doing Simran, and God sees that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is remembering me, and it's such a hot day. Why would I let this person that's remembering me suffer from the heat? Right? So God, what happens? God orders a snake. We all know the story. They order a snake to come and give shade to Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. So there's a huge snake, and not just a normal snake, it's Sheshnag. What's Sheshnag? It's a snake with 1,000 heads. 1,000 heads and 2,000 tongues. It comes in Gurbani. So what happens? Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is sitting there, and a huge snake comes to give them shade because it's a hot day, and God doesn't want anything bad to be happening to the person that's doing their Simran. That with their whole heart is doing Simran, nothing bad should happen to them. So God protects Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji by sending a snake. But what happens? You can see at the back, Rai Bullar Ji and everyone else see the snake over Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they get scared. They were like, maybe this snake bit Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they run as fast as they can to Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they scare the snake away. And they're looking at Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they think like the Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is lying down because it's hot. They think that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is probably lying down because he died. And they're trying to look like, where is Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji bitten? They're trying to look everywhere, see like, where did the snake bite him? Maybe we can take the poison out. And they're looking, and Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji wakes up from their samadhi. They wake up from doing Simran, and they're and they're perfectly fine. They're talking to Rai Bullar Ji, and they say, what happened? And Rai Bullar Ji sees that, again, this isn't a normal person. God himself is protecting this person because this person with their full heart is remembering God. This isn't a normal kid in my town. This is a fuck. This is a saint. This is a really religious person that is living with me. That's blessing me with the darshan. What happens is one more story that we went over. Um, Again, Guru Sahib Ji wakes up one day and it's really hot, and Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is underneath a tree, and they're doing samadhi. So underneath a tree, and the tree is giving them shade. The tree is giving them shade, and the cows are eating the food, and the tree is giving them shade. What happens? A lot of time passes, and the sun moves. And I don't know if you guys know, but when the sun moves, the shade moves with the sun as well. But what happens with this tree? This tree, the shade stays in that one spot. That one spot where Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji is, the shade stays there. So if I was to put a light over here, like a flashlight over here, the shade would go over here, right? So if the sun is over here and the tree is over here, the shade would be over here. But when the sun moves, the shade moves as well. So when the sun comes over here, the shade would be over here. I don't know if, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so the shade from that one tree stays in that one spot because God commands it that I want you to give shade to this Bhagat, to this saint, to Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, who is doing Simran, who is doing Simran. and it's Zor de Simran. And again, Rai Bullar Ji is walking, Rai Bullar Ji is walking. They come and they see Guru Nanak Dev Ji sleeping, and then they see the tree, and they're like, that's strange. And they look at every other tree. Every other tree, the shade is pointing this way, but this one tree, the shade is pointing straight ahead to where Guru Nanak Dev Ji is sleeping. And he's astonished. He's so surprised, and all he can do is just matha take to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. All he can do is say, Dhan Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Dhan Nanak Teri Vaddi Kamai, Kal Taran Guru Nanak Aya. All he can do is say, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you are great. And from that point on, Rai Bullar Ji gives everything to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So much that he was in charge of 7,500 acres, so 7,500 acres of land. That is, imagine like our house that we live in is probably not even 1 acre that we live in. Imagine 7,500 of your houses, more than that because our house isn't even 1 acre. That's how much land he just gives to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He says, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you're not a normal person, you're my God. Right? You're my Guru. So he gives up everything. Everything that he has, he gives to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He makes a sarovar. He makes a pool so that Guru Nanak Dev Ji will have a place to bathe in. Because there was no water in Raipur, Talwandi. There was no place. Once Guru Nanak Dev Ji woke up and they're like, this is such a huge town, but there's no place for us to bathe over here, right? Rai Bullar Ji heard this. The next day, he started making this sarovar, and he put it under Guru Nanak Dev Ji's name. And just a quick thing. This is Gurdwara Mal Sahib Ji. It's in Pakistan, and to this day, this Gurdwara marks the spot where the tree was. The tree that gave shade to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that tree is still at this spot. So this is the best picture that I could find of the tree. But to say that to this day, if you go there, you'll see the one spot where Guru Nanak Dev Ji sat. No matter what time of day it is, no matter what year it is, no matter what month it is, no matter what time it is, that spot where Guru Nanak Dev Ji was sitting, to this day, that spot still has shade from this tree. So unfortunately, I couldn't find a good picture. It'd be nice if they do like a time lapse to see how in that one spot that spot still has the shade. But this is the best picture that we could find of that tree. But to this day, that tree is still there. And again, just because there's not that much Sikh population in Pakistan, it's not upkept the best, but it's still there. So if anyone wants to do darshan, they can go to Pakistan and still do darshan of that tree. So what happens? Again, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, everyone is treating them just like a normal boy. But there's a few people that start to realize that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is God, and one of them is Rai Bullar Ji, right? So Rai Bullar Ji has so much love for Guru Nanak Dev Ji that every time Guru Nanak Dev Ji's dad gets angry at Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Rai Bullar Ji would start crying, and they would say, Kalyan Chand Ji, don't get mad at them. Whatever they do, you can take that from me if they go into your house, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they didn't care about having food for themselves. They gave all their food to other people that were hungry. They used to go home and whatever toys that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's father Kalyan Chand Ji bought for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji would go out, and whenever they saw a poor kid, they would give it to them. Every time Guru Nanak Dev Ji was giving nice clothes, Guru Nanak Dev Ji would go out, see some people that are homeless, and give his clothes to them. Guru Nanak Dev Ji would give everything to other people, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji was here to save the rest of humanity, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji was here to save the rest of the world. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they would take everything from their house. So imagine you go into your house and you take whatever pajamas you have, you take whatever shirts you have, and you just start giving them out. And the parents aren't too happy. They're like, we bought these, we worked so hard to make this money, to buy these clothes for you, and you just keep giving them to other people. We work hard to bring in food, we work hard to give you apples to eat, to give you fruits to eat, but you just give it to other people, right? So the parents get angry, and they get angry, And Rai Bullar Ji, they tell the Guru Nanak Dev Ji's dad, Pita Kalyan Chand Ji, that don't get angry at them. They're not normal kids. However much money they waste, I will pay for it. So Rai Bullar Ji is literally giving any money, any amount of money to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They're giving everything to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And every time someone gets angry, every time Pita Kalyan Chand Ji yells at Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they start crying. And they're like, please, Pita Kalyan Chand Ji, don't get angry at them. You can't see it, but this is God. This is God on earth, right? This is a pug. This is a saint. This is a great person. And Rai Bullar Ji, every day they would be doing Matha Tek to Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they would be worshipping Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and they would be thinking of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji for the whole day. So this happens for some time, and this happens for some time, but Pita Kalyan Chand Ji, they're still not listening to other people. They're still getting mad and they're still getting angry at Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And Rai Bullar Ji, from inside, they're getting hurt. Every time the father yells at the son, Rai Bullar Ji feels it more than Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Rai Bullar Ji gets more and more hurt. They have so much love for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji sees this. They see that Rai Bullar Ji has this much love for me. And they see it and they keep this in mind. And we'll see what happens. We'll see as time progresses what Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji does. Right? So what happens one day, Pita Kalyan Chand Ji send Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji off, right? And they give Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji $20, and they say that you know what, this this farming thing, taking care of the animals, it's not really working out, right? You're not really changing at all. Maybe if send you somewhere far off, and I give you $20, and I tell you to start a business, then maybe uh, then maybe everything will change, right? Then maybe you'll start becoming more involved in you'll start becoming more involved in like this worldly stuff, right? You'll have to start a store or you'll have to buy something and you'll start thinking about the store, right? You won't be thinking about God all the time. So we all know the story. We all know the story, right? I'm just going to kind of go over it really quickly. Guru Sahib Ji is going with the $20 and they see a bunch of saints. They see a bunch of sadhu, pukhe sadhu, and they go and they talk to the sadhu and they find out that these poor people have been doing simran and they're doing bhakti, and for 7 days they hadn't eaten anything. And Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji thinks, they say, Pita Kalyan Chand Ji told me to do a good good trade with this money, with this $20 that I was given, to do something good with it, right? And now Guru Sahib Ji's father meant to buy something for cheap and to sell it for more expensive, right? Like go outside, if it's cheaper to buy I don't know, apples over here, go over here and buy a bunch of apples, and then go over to this city over here where it's more expensive to buy apples and sell the apples. That's what the father meant, right? He said do something good like that. But Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they said that what could be better than to feed these poor people that have been doing simran, that have been doing bhakti for 7 days without any food. So they go and they buy langar, and they buy langar, and they start giving this langar out to everybody. Sorry, I forgot to put the picture up. They go and they start giving this langar to uh, all the bhukhe sadhu, and they feed everybody. They feed everybody, right? And what happens afterwards? They come back home. They come back home, and do you think the father's happy that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji gave $20 worth of food to the poor people? They're not really happy. They decide that they're going to slap Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Everyone tries to stop them, everyone tries to stop them, but they're so angry that they try to slap Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. They slap Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Not try to, sorry. They actually slap Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And at this time, Bibi Nanaki comes running. Bibi Nanaki Ji is Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji's daughter. She comes running to save her brother, and Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they see their cheeks, and their cheeks are blue because they were slapped by their father. And when Rai Bullar Ji finds out about this, he starts crying and he's like, you know what? I have no other choice. We should send Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji out. I should find out a way to take care of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji better. So even though Rai Bullar Ji loved Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, they decided that I'm gonna send Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji to Sultanpur Sahib Ji. So I'm going to send Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji away from his father and send him with his sister. His sister got married. Uh, to Jai Ram Ji, and they used to live in Sultanpur. So they used to live in another city. So he made a request to Jai Ram Ji that please can you take Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and can you take care of them, because no matter what I say, Pata Kalyan Chand Ji doesn't listen to me, right? And Pata Kalyan Chand Ji keeps hitting Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji and I can't bear it. So even though he didn't want to leave Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, he wanted to see Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, he sends Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji away. So Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji leaves Talwandi, where they were born, and they go to Sultanpur Sahib Ji. And for 12 years, they don't come back to Talwandi, you guys. And we're going to see in these 12 years what happens. Well, we're not going to see everything that happens. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but we're going to see how much love Rai Bullar Ji had for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji, and how Rai Bullar Ji's love is able to bring Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji back after 12 years. Right? So I apologize. We don't have time to kind of go over the Sakhi today because there's been a couple of requests that the Sakhis get a little bit too long. It's hard to concentrate for that long. So we're going to continue the Sakhi next week. Next week will be the last day that we do these tukhs. Jini Dittha Mera Satguru Paukar. So we'll see next week how Rai Bullar Ji's love is able to bring Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji back after 12 years away from Talwandi. So a lot of Sakhis that we went through today, a lot of them we probably already knew from before, and we went through them before as well. Hopefully they all made sense. We went through them a little bit fast. Hopefully they all still made sense. Hopefully you guys still learned something, and and if anything, we learned that if you love God, God will love you, right? And now we'll see if we love the Guru will love us as well. So now next week we're going to see, because Rai Bullar Ji loved Guru Sahib Ji, we're going to see how Guru Sahib Ji returned that love. We're going to see how Guru Sahib Ji returned that love to them by returning. So we're just going to go over these tukhs, and that will be the end of today's Sakhi session. So we did a couple of Sakhis, and hopefully they all made sense. I apologize for all the mistakes I made. So let's just go over the tukh a few times, and that will be today's Sakhis. Jini Dittha Mera Sate Gur Paukari, Tinke Sabbe Paap Gavai, Hari Dargah Te Mukh Ujjale, Boho Sobha Pai, Jano Nanak Ko Mangya Tude Tin, Jo Gur Ke Sikh Mere Pai. Jajji Sari Je, Nane Bihari Ni, Jini. Daddi Sari De, Thathe Kanna Tha, Dittha. Mamela Me, Rare Kanna Ra, Mera. Sasa Muktasa, Tathi Sari Te, Gaggi Onkur Go, Rare Onkur Do, Sate Goro. Pabbe Kanna Pa, Udi Onkur O, Pao. Kaka Muktaka, Rare Sari De, Kare. Jini Dittha Mera Sate Goro Pao Kari. Tatisarite Nana Muktana Ten. Kake La Ke. Sasa Muktasa Pabisari Pe Sabe. Papekana Pa Papa Mukta Pa Paap. Gaga Mukta Ga Vavekana Va Iri Bihari I. Gavai. तिनके साबे पाप गवाई। जिनी डिठा मेरा साते गोरो भाव कारी। तिनके साबे पाप गवाई। हाहा मुक्ता ह रारी सैरी दे हारे। दद्दा मुक्ता द रारा मुक्ता र गग्गा मुक्ता ग हाहा मुक्ता ह दरगह। तत्ते ला ते मम्मी औंकड़ मो खखा मुक्ता ख मुख। ऊड़ी औंकड़ ओ जज्जा मुक्ता ज लल्ले ला ले उजले। हारी दरगह ते मुख उजले। बब्बा मुक्ता ब हाही औंकड़ हो बहो। ससे होड़ा सो भब्बे कन्ना भा सोभा। पप्पे कन्ना पा ईरी बिहारी ई पाई। हारी दरगह ते मुख उजले बहु शोभा पाई। जज्जा मुक्ता ज नन्ने औंकड़ नो जानो। नन्ने कन्ना ना नन्ना मुक्ता न कक्की औंकड़ को ना को। मम्मी टिप्पी मंग गग्गे दलां गै मंगै। धद्दे दलें कड़ धू राड़ी स्यारी डे धूड़े। तत्ती स्यारी ते नन्ना मुक्ता न तेन। जानो नानको मंगै धूड़े तेन। जज्जे होड़ा जो। गग्गे औंकड़ गो रारा मुक्ता र गोर। कक्के लां के। ससे स्यारी से खखा मुक्ता ख सेख। मम्मे ला मे रारे ला रे मेरे। भब्बे कन्ना भा ईरी बिहारी ई भाई। जानो नानको मंगै धूड़े तेन। जो गुर के सिख मेरे भाई। जिनी डिठा मेरा साते गोरो भाव कारी। तिनके साबे पाप गवाई। हारी दरगह ते मुख उजले बहु शोभा पाई। जानो नानको मंगै धूड़े तेन। जो गुर के सिख मेरे भाई. So Guru Pari Sat Sangat Ji, that is going to be the end of the story session today, I believe. I apologize, a lot of these stories we've already went through before. A lot of them you probably already knew from before as well. But it's just to help us understand how Rai Bullar Ji gained this love for Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And we'll see next week how Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji returns this love to Rai Bullar Ji. ठीक है जी, so this is going to be a to be continued sort of Sakhi for the first time ever on Sakhi series. Anyways, the next Sakhi, you guys, I promise I will do a new Sakhi. It won't just be one that we've heard before. So, Hanji, please forgive me for all my mistakes and please bless me so that that's not to keep doing these types of sevas. ਐਂਡ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨ, ਇਹ ਬਾਣੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਾਉਣ, ਰੋਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਾਉਣ। ਸਾਰੇ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ।